Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. We are sneaking right up on the end. It's the 29th day of October. So we're almost done with this month. By this time next week, it'll be November already. So time is just flying on by. Coming up later in the program today, I have NealKatz joining me on the program. And he is a political pundit. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. A big fan of politics. Real smart guy, an international scholar. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff to do with presidential politics. So if you're into politics, you're going to definitely want to be listening later in the program. NealKatz, going to be fun. Also, did you know that playing with puppies and kittens has been proven to relieve stress and help students perform better on tests?
I did know that it would relieve stress.
Yeah. So but what they're saying is if you've got puppies and kittens at your house and your kids get to play with those puppies and kittens and they have fun, they have a chance of getting higher grades in school. So. Come on, Mom, Dad, get them a puppy.
We've got 2 puppies.
See, our kids are probably geniuses because of that.
They're very stress-free.
All right, coming up here in a bit, we've got a story about a Swedish family. Interesting story. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Got an interesting story here from Sweden. It's kind of disgusting. A Swedish family, puzzled as to why their potato chips they were eating didn't taste very good.
Oh.
Left a little queasy, especially when they got to the bottom of the bag and found a dead mouse.
Ew.
From now on, I think I'll be dumping all
I
the
knew I wasn't going to like where this
Eesh.
was going.
That's not good. Let's change the subject because that's just yucky.
Oh.
Police in Cleveland, England. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a Cleveland, England. Did you?
No.
But police in Cleveland, England are searching for a pervert with a weird modus operandi. His M.O.? He approaches women in the street late at night, clad in only a diaper, and asks, "Are there any baby-changing facilities around here?" Police say he hasn't harmed anyone yet, but they are keen to speak to him. This dude's got issues.
Well, as long as he's not asking anybody to change his diapers or he's not exposing himself.
Stations around here?
Just leave him alone.
What is he up to?
There's nothing, apparently.
This is bizarre. Coming up, we're going to talk about some upset witches in our Heard It on the Radio segment. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true, Heidi, because you heard it on the radio. There will be no Halloween parties at one school district in Washington State. That's got the witches really mad. According to a Seattle TV station, a spokesperson for the Puyallup School District said that there were 3 reasons that the parties are canceled. First reason was Halloween parties and parades waste valuable classroom time. Second reason was some families can't afford costumes. And the third reason is it might offend real witches. Seriously. School said, "We've had many complaints from followers of the Wiccan religion.
Are you
and
kidding?
they're offended at the way Halloween is celebrated and portrays their religion." Seriously?
The first 2 reasons I get, because you know what, if you can't afford a Halloween costume, it would be hard to be the one kid that has to go to school that doesn't have one. All the rest of the kids have them.
You could do what I did one year. I just forgot, and when I got there, they didn't say, "Can't you afford a sheet to throw over your head?" I said, "I forgot. Completely forgot it was Halloween." Then I went to school. Everybody else is dressed
that's tough for a kid. You weren't a normal kid. You really didn't care.
I didn't care. I still don't care.
But most kids, that sort of thing is hard because you're singled out and you're noticed, and most people don't like that.
Well, now the real witches are upset because they're saying they don't like the way that witches are portrayed. Well, here's the thing. They're not portraying you. They're portraying the witches like from Hollywood and from cartoons and from, what was that thing with the Toto and Dorothy and
Wizard of Oz.
That's the one.
Nice.
Yeah. The witches in that. That's who they're portraying. So it's not about you sometimes. So there you go. You know it's true. They got some upset witches, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. There's a guy that decided he wanted to kick his habit of drinking. He ended up breaking the law doing it, though. Guess what he did?
What did he do?
Well, he thought he would quit drinking, and he went about it kind of a dumb idea. He said, I'm going to stay sober by serving part of my friend's jail sentence to see if I can fool the justice system.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Came up with this brilliant plan while he was drunk, of course. The man posed as his friend and started a 1-month drunk driving sentence. The courts discovered after 2 weeks in jail that he was not the right man.
It took them 2 weeks?
Yeah, so he apparently did okay. Court since found him guilty of perjury and wrongful use of another person's ID. And now they're both going to be serving sentences. He's in there for one thing and
I
he's in
guess
there
the
for
good
another.
news is he'll still get to kick the habit because he's going to jail no matter what.
He's like, hey, give this
And the other guy deserved his sentence. He should
definitely
be in there. So.
And apparently they came up with this nefarious plan together while they were both drunk. So there you go.
Hey,
you guys get some time to think
whatever
about that.
Works.
There you go. It's your brain on drugs. Your moment of duh is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
A non-thinking police officer sniffs the contents of an envelope to see if it's anthrax. Yeah.
You don't sniff it.
Police officer in Claremont, South Africa, so it's not from around here, was called to a home of a man who received a strange letter in the mail with a bunch of white stuff all over it.
Oh, my goodness.
Had a skull and crossbones scribbled on it, and the words, what do you wish for, death or anthrax? Nevertheless, the police officer opened the envelope anyway, stuck his nose inside, and took a sniff and said, it's just baby powder.
Wow.
It's a good thing
Fortunately, it was just baby powder.
Yeah. So I think they need some more training in South Africa. Is that how we do it here? I don't think that's how we do it here.
I'm pretty sure that's not how we do it here.
Then again, I've not seen that episode of CSI, so I don't know.
Lick their finger and dip it in there and taste it. I think that's how we do it here.
No, I don't think that's how they do it here either.
I've seen it on TV.
That's something different, and I don't think they do that either. I can tell you this, you don't want to just sniff it and say, nope, just baby powder. No, this one's not. That's anthrax. I'm dead. See you later. All right, we have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. Men who wear their hair long, in a bun, or top knot may increase their chances of going bald later in life. Wait a minute. How many men wear their hair in a bun or a top knot?
And is it really going to matter if you go bald? Because most likely you're probably single anyway. I don't think it really matters.
No, dude, if you're wearing your hair in a bun right now, I am so sorry. I really didn't mean to pick on you. But I've just never seen that ever in my life.
I do think the same thing goes for people who wear baseball caps all the time.
Oh, yeah. Though. Yeah, my brother Jason wears a baseball cap all the time, and he takes it off. You're like, ooh, you used to have hair up there. What happened? According to a survey, 59% of Americans believe immigrants don't learn English quickly enough. 59%. So there you go. The ones, if you're learning English.
If you're learning and you're trying, that's all I ask for. I mean, at least you're trying and attempting.
Apparently, gone are the days of innocent Halloween costumes, Heidi, like superheroes and firefighters and Frankenstein monsters. This year's costumes, sexy Nemo, really? Sexy pizza slice, really? Sexy crayon, really? Sexy minion, and the one I wonder the most about, sexy Donald Trump. Yeah, there's a sexy Donald Trump costume this year. Who's wearing that? I don't understand that. Don't cross all of those things with sexy anything. So that's what's happening this year for Halloween, apparently. That'll be an interesting night on Saturday. All right, 54-year-old Florida man was arrested after police got reports of a man in a motorized wheelchair blocking traffic. Ronnie Scott Hicks has 2 previous DUI convictions. Officers say Hicks smelled of alcohol and was slurring his words. He allegedly refused to take a breathalyzer test and was taken into custody. Again, he's 54, he's in a motorized wheelchair, and he got another DUI in his motorized wheelchair.
That's unfortunate.
Crazy. Yeah. A couple in Oregon say they spent 10 months trying to clear up a whopping $2 million phone bill.
Whoa!
Whoa! Ken Slusher and his girlfriend of Damascus, Oregon, have a balance of $2,156,593.64. It's for their Verizon bill. The account was opened in November. Slusher said he hoped to close on a new home, but his mortgage company will not sign off on a loan because of his phone debt. Spokesperson for Verizon said the error was a result of a programming miscalculation in the Verizon system.
Why is it so hard to get it fixed?
I don't know. They're still working on it. They're like, well, the guy that knows how to fix that's not here till, I don't know, June. I have no clue. Did you know your dog gets jealous when you pet another dog? I knew that. We have 2 dogs.
Yes, we have 2 dogs.
They are ridiculous. According to research from the University of California, San Diego, or from my living room, either way, they watched 36 dog owners interact with animals, with animated dogs, not even real, animated dogs. While the owners petted fake dogs, their real dogs started showing signs of jealousy, including pushing at the owner of the rival dog. The dogs were trying to break the connection between the owner and the rival. So they're saying, hey, quit messing with that dog. You are mine.
Yep.
Oh, we have 2 dogs.
That happens all the time at our house.
It's ridiculous.
And I kind of like to watch them get all worked up. I do it on purpose. Sometimes if neither of the dogs will come to me, I'll just crumple up the blanket and pretend like I'm petting the blanket, and I'll talk really nice to the blanket, and then pretty soon both dogs are up on the couch.
Who are you petting up there? I want in on that.
Oh, thanks for coming to see me.
Oh, what all it took is me pretending. Believe it or not, you really can catch cooties, Heidi. The word cooties comes from a Malay word, kutu, which means body lice. So cooties really is a thing, but it's body lice. That's what it is. All right. And our last thing that we're going to get to here. Iran is planning a vacation resort for women that will have no men allowed or staffers or visitors. They say it'll be a paradise for ladies. So they're going to do that.
Yeah, because when I think vacation, I think Iran.
I was going to say, first place on my list of places to go if I were a female looking for a getaway probably wouldn't be Iran. I don't know. Now, our strange law in Wisconsin, butter substitutes are not allowed to be served in state prisons. Say butter is it. But it's a dairy state. So the state senator said, you know what? No butter substitutes. Our government dollars are going to be spent on products that come from right here in our own state of Wisconsin.
That makes sense.
So there you got it. That's your strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We've got a special guest on the line right now, an author by the name of Neal Katz. And Neal has a really cool book that just recently came out. So first of all, welcome to the program, Neal. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. Good to talk to you, John.
Very good to have you on the program. Now, the book is called Outrageous, the Victoria Woodhull Saga. And this says Volume 1, so there's more on the way from the sounds of it, correct?
That's correct. There'll be 4 volumes in total. This is her rise to riches, kind of a Horatio Alger story. Started out destitute, poor, and had to overcome a lot of adversity. In one, she becomes amazingly wealthy.
And something that's going on right now in the media, if you turn on the TV, we've got not 1 but 2 female presidential candidates. But if you want to go back to see where did it all start, it starts with Victoria. She was the first female presidential candidate. What year was she running for president?
It was 1872, and she was nominated by the Equal Rights Party. It was the third party after the Republican Democratic parties. The election was won by Ulysses S. Grant, beating Horace Greeley, the newspaper man in New York who's famous for the Go West Young Man quote.
Oh, yeah.
She won the nomination. She ran for president, but she couldn't vote, of course. But preventing her further from voting was she was arrested 3 days before the election and actually spent the election day in jail on trumped-up charges.
Wow.
Because it was so profound or such a challenging idea that a woman would run for president. They found some trumped-up charges and incarcerated her and her sister and her husband.
Think about how far we've come, because, again, that was 1872. So it's been, 140-some years later, and here we are. We've got 2 people that are running for office. Neither one of them have been arrested yet, so I guess we'll see between now and the election. But it's amazing how far we've come. Now, there's a movie right now in theaters. Is there any connection between the story that you tell and the story that we see in that particular movie with Meryl Streep?
Yes, absolutely. The movie's The Suffragette, about the British woman's vote and women's rights movement in the 1890s and beginning of the 20th century. And they actually modeled their philosophy and quoted often Victoria Woodhull. She and her sister were the first women to publish a woman-owned newspaper. And in that paper, she was very political. She advocated revolution. She advocated complete equal rights for women. She advocated back then equal pay for women for equal work, and a slate of very liberal agenda that the Pankhurst, the women in the film, and that movement based their whole movement on. She was living in London at the time, and both Tennessee, her sister, and Victoria would often be invited to speak and address or lecture the assembled crowds, and they were constantly in contact and advising the heroines of the movie. So really, she was the first suffragette.
So that was kind of the beginning of the feminist movement. How has that changed from the 1800s to now? Has feminism changed quite a bit, or is it still pretty much the same?
There have been advances, but there's still an objectification, subjugation, and a negative imposition placed on women, both in America and across the world. The truth is, we've done a better job exposing the treatment of Afro-Americans in our history than we have the treatment of women. And I'm trying to open the window a little bit and let people see how women were abused. Still today, there's different forms of slavery in America and across the world. It's not an American monopoly. And women being treated like second-class citizens, especially around the world, is still very rampant and needs to be addressed.
So if Victoria were here today in 2015, what would she be like? Would she be somebody that's like either of the presidential candidates that are female right now, or would she be completely different than them?
Yeah, she'd be completely different. It's kind of fun. She was a renegade and a rebel and an incredible advocate for change. So really in the political arena, it would be someone probably most people don't know, but her name's Jill Stein. She ran for president last election under the Green Party, or an Elizabeth Warren. She was very progressive, so the two major candidates were kind of beholden to their parties and their doctrine. Wouldn't quite qualify, although they embody a lot of the characteristics that she had.
If she were running in the election right now, do you think people would be big fans of her today, or are her ideals still things that people would really relate to?
Her ideals are still challenging today. I think a lot more has been accepted. They would admire her courage and her independence, and I think she would gain quite a following. I don't think she could win an election because she's just too liberal and really wanted to radically change the status quo. That's always a challenge.
Again, visiting with Neal Katz. When was the book finished? Was it just recently? Has it been out for a while? Or
just was released October 1st.
Oh.
The name of the book, again, is Outrageous, the Victoria Woodhull Saga. Volume 1 is Rise to Riches. It's available on Amazon under Outrageous, Victoria Woodhull. So I was just contacted by the biggest agency in Hollywood. Looks like there's going to be a long-running TV show or a series of movies based on the book.
That's awesome. Good. That's very good news. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And again, this is Volume 1, so how many volumes will there be in total? Were you saying 4?
I anticipate 4.
How long do you think it'll be before we see the second one? Is it kind of in the works right now?
Yeah, the second one covers her presidential campaign, her meteoric rise to fame. So that will be released towards the early spring of the coming year during the primary season.
That'd be a perfect time to put it out. That's exactly when I would do it too. So again, Neal Katz is the guest we've had on the program today. Thank you so much for chatting with us today, Neal.
Thank you. Good to talk to you, John.
Good to talk to you as well. Again, Neal Katz, and the book is called Outrageous, the Victoria Woodhull Saga, Volume 1, Rise to Riches, available at your favorite bookstore or online at Amazon. Thank you so much for joining us on a Thursday right here on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, October the 29th, which means today is Internet Day. Excuse me, I got a hiccup right in the middle of that.
I guess so.
How you doing? How do I cure hiccups? It's Internet Day.
Nice.
Internet Day. It's also National Cat Day. Now, I don't think that's a coincidence because cats are all over the internet.
Yeah, they really are.
And there are more dog lovers out there, but there are more cat videos and cat photos on the internet. I don't get it. Does that mean they have more time on their hands, or what's going on here? Why do they have so much more time to put videos and stuff? I suppose it's because they're not outside playing with their dog.
Probably.
Could be. Anyway, I love cats. So happy National Cat Day. Happy Internet Day, and Happy World Psoriasis Day. I'm not sure exactly how to celebrate this one. All right, that's going to do it for this special day. It's Thursday, the 29th day of October.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
All right, it's no surprise to anybody that we're only a few days away from a Halloween, and I have some Halloween tips for you, Heidi.
All right.
Keep the target away from your house this Halloween. Good Housekeeping has these tips to make your home less of a target for Halloween gags. First of all, when you were growing up, did anybody ever mess with your house on Halloween?
No. Nobody's ever messed with my house.
Nobody ever did when I was a kid either. Not for Halloween. Like homecoming, they did, but not Halloween. Okay, number one, be friendly when you hand out candy. They're saying kids are not as nice to people who are not friendly.
Well, of course.
No kidding?
Duh. Did they do a study on that?
No, they didn't. Next, place jack-o'-lanterns in windows rather than on steps or walkways so they can't be kicked or smashed.
Oh, who cares if they smash them? It's Halloween night. You're not going to use those the next day anyways.
Yeah, as long as they don't make a mess in your yard so you have to
exactly.
take
do
them
it
down
the street.
Old Mr. Jenkins' house on the road there. All right, keep exterior lights on all night, even after trick-or-treaters are in bed sleeping, because usually all the shenanigans happens after that's done anyway.
But when you run out of candy, you're supposed to turn off your lights. Otherwise, people keep ringing your doorbell all night long. If you leave your outside lights on, everybody thinks you still got candy.
Have plenty of candy and don't run out. That's a good plan. Next, play loud music or turn up the TV so there's some sounds that do come from the house. Again, only do that if you have candy. Otherwise, you're going to just make people mad. Make sure walkways are clear and well lit. Put cars in the garage or cover them up with a tarp. What? Cover your car with a tarp?
I suppose so they don't get egged and stuff. I don't know.
This sounds like Doc Brown.
This must be a rough neighborhood.
Next, store trash cans inside. Put away bicycles and lawn equipment and yard decorations or anything that's portable. And finally, and this is probably the best tip on this entire list, if you have pets, keep them inside.
Well,
because it's really, really mean for your puppy to be outside barking at every, because think about this. They don't know what Halloween is.
Yeah.
They're just going, oh, there's goblins and there's like 87 sexy Donald Trumps walking by, which has got to be confusing. I'm confused. Dogs have to be. There you go. Some tips from Good Housekeeping. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
As if our cell phones aren't complex enough. Now there are things that have more features. What are you laughing about over there?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Carry on, please.
Some people in Scandinavia have cell phones, and they're demanding more and more features. Aside from a flip-out mirror is one of them that women want on their cell phones now for, mirrors on the go. Other ideas, a fire alarm for executives staying at hotels. These, again, are all from Scandinavian countries. Ideas for things that they want on their cell phones. Features that could measure your elevation, your wind force, and air pressure. Cell phones with a built-in flashlight. That's not a bad idea. I have a flashlight app. And the idea of equipping cell phones with a small stick, which weight-conscious users could penetrate their hamburger or salad to measure calories.
Oh, good Lord.
So these are all things that they're saying, I think we need more stuff on our phone. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. My phone has plenty of stuff. I don't need nothing else on it. I don't want to learn. I wouldn't have time to learn how to use it all anyway, so let's just not do it. Coming up in a bit, we got a toddler who jumps onto a bus and takes off.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
This sounds like something right out of a movie, but it's true. A toddler jumped onto a bus and took off, and nobody noticed. A Hong Kong toddler who loves watching buses got the ride of his life after sneaking onto a double-decker which zipped him halfway across town. The boy, 20 months old, so that's less than 2, slipped away from his brother on Thursday of last week while they were playing and was only discovered on the bus after an hour had passed. It was not clear why the driver and the other passengers had not noticed him sooner.
I was going to say, nobody saw the kid walk onto the bus?
When finally reunited with his anxious mom and dad, he excitedly repeated, buses, buses, I like buses. So there you go.
Wow.
The kid likes buses. He got the ride of his life. Can you imagine that? I bet the kid was having a blast, but mom and dad
parents
had
were
to
freaking
be. Oh, yeah,
out.
I'd have been freaking out. I can't even imagine. That sounds like something you'd see happen in a movie, though. That doesn't sound like real life, but there you go. It is.
I wonder how they found out where the kid belonged.
I have no clue. It does not say. Wouldn't that be good to have the details that really matter?
Yeah.
Thank you, Internet, for giving me stuff I don't need. Coming up, deer, they're everywhere. We're going to tell you all about them.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
There's some parts of the country where everywhere you go, you see deer running all over. Deer are beautiful animals, aren't they?
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful
Until
animals.
they're in your windshield.
Yeah, I remember hitting one with your car one time.
Yeah, I know.
And the best part of it was I hit the deer, and I come home because I didn't have my cell phone. I was coming back from the gym, which, most people wouldn't believe, but I really was. Coming home from the gym, and I come in the house and said, Heidi, I need my phone. I got to call the police. I hit a deer. And she said, were you driving my car? And I said, yeah. She goes, is my car okay? I said, I'm fine, Heidi. Thanks for asking. No, your car's not okay. It's kind of ruined. All right. Anyway, speaking of deer, a deer got a full bubble bath in Pennsylvania in their home. It's a case of a buck in the bubble bath. Connie Beck and her husband were awakened when they heard a crash in their Howard, Pennsylvania home. They figured they might have been hit by a tornado. Well, they were hit, but it was a male deer. A buck ran past their bedroom door and jumped into the bath.
How on earth did he get in the house?
I don't know. Somehow the animal managed to turn on the water and knocked over a bottle of bubble bath. The game warden arrived and found the deer in the bubbly water. Officers subdued the animal with tranquilizers.
Aww.
A little later, the clean, sweet-smelling deer was released into the wild. And I'm sure that deer got out into the wild and he was telling the tales of his bubble bath. And they're like, you did not. Seriously, it was awesome. I went in his house.
He's such a liar.
I ran up the hallway, right past their bedroom door. And then I took a bath in their tub. Bubble bath. It was beautiful. I can't even imagine how weird that would be to walk in your bathroom and see a deer standing in there, period.
Yeah.
But to see a deer standing in there
taking a bubble bath.
I mean, I don't know. That would almost be worth whatever the amount of damage is just to see that happen.
I'm surprised that he wasn't able to get out of the tub and run away. I mean, you would think when he saw people, especially, he would have jumped right back out of the tub and run past them.
Close the door. I'm not sure. Coming up, we got some good news.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always try to end this program with some sort of positive news, and some days are easier to find good news than others. But today, not such a bad thing. I got some good news for you here. Medical studies revealed several years ago the sedentary lifestyle, I mean like sitting around for a long time, was deadly for your body. And it was as deadly as smoking. So by not being active, it's really bad for you. But here's where the good news comes in. A study from last week finds going the other extreme is just as deadly. Yeah. A new study finds that heavy joggers are just as likely to die as people who lead a sedentary life.
Everybody is going to die.
I understand that, but what they said, they found that light joggers, defining people who run like 3 times a week at a slower pace, have the optimum life expectancy. So they're saying don't sit around and do nothing, but don't go overboard either. Researchers tracked 1,098 healthy joggers and 413 healthy but sedentary non-joggers for 12 years. They found that non-strenuous joggers were as likely to die as the sedentary non-joggers, while light joggers had the lowest death rates. So they're saying that don't sit on your tush and do nothing, but don't go too far the other way either. And I know people who do that. They go from doing nothing to like, I'm just going to go dive into this thing and every day and running 900 miles and all that stuff. Yeah, you don't do that because then that's actually bad for you. So that's why I thought that's our good news, because I want to make sure that, you have the excuse you need to get out of that strenuous workout. So just be careful out there. See?
I've started going to the gym every morning. I really enjoy it.
And I do too. I enjoy going to the gym. I absolutely love it. I really do. I used to go to the gym way too much, but I don't do that anymore. But I will get back into the swing of things. But because of this story, I'm going to make sure I ease into it. I'm not going to dive in head first. That and the fact that I probably couldn't dive in head first. So. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks again for joining us right here on a Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Heidi, have you ever heard of those guys?
I have.
Yeah, they got some good products. We use the razors all the time. That's what we use to shave our pretty little faces at our house, and I guess you use it to shave your beautiful legs over at your place there. Your same house. But you don't shave your face. When I said that, I just thought it was funny because I don't want people thinking you're a bearded lady or something. If you were a bearded lady, I'd probably still marry you just because you're such a great lady. You're awesome. If you had a full-on beard, I'd ask you to shave it and all, but I'd still marry you. Just want to make sure
I don't
you get
think
that
you would. I don't think you would have ever even gotten past the beard to find out if I was a pretty nice lady.
I'm talking to you. So what's your name? Heidi. Oh, it's quite a beard you got there. You ever consider shaving that thing? Well, I would if I had the right razor. Let me tell you about the Dollar Shave Club. Yeah, you can get razors for as little as $3 a month. They'll bring them right to you. You can also go with the Executive Series. That's the ones that we use at our home, and they're $9 a month, and they're well worth every penny of it. Never have to think about razors. Never have to worry about going out to get them. They'll bring them right to you. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. You ready for this?
Ready.
A Brazilian gang recently pulled off a master crime, breaking into a photo shop and stealing some cameras. Now, to prove their bravado, the gang took some photos of themselves in the act, and they sent the photos to be developed, guess where?
At the same place they stole the cameras
Needless
from.
to say, the employees recognized the banditos, and they made the arrest there in Brazil.
Wow.
So, yeah, not very smart. A Manchester, New Hampshire man faces charges after taking an unattended street sweeper out for a joyride.
Oh.
The street sweeper was being used in a downtown parking garage, and the operator had left the machine temporarily. That's when police say Michael Moran hopped on and started it up. He traveled several blocks before being caught by the people who were chasing him. Police have charged him with...
I'm sure it didn't take long to catch him.
Pretty slow. Get back here with my street sweeper. Police have charged him with taking a street sweeper without the owner's permission, and yes, he was drunk at the time. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
A woman in the West Midlands area in England was attempting to rob a post office when things didn't go as planned.
Why would you rob a post office?
Don't know. The woman, who was carrying a crowbar, threatened the counter clerk, who refused to cooperate. So an ensuing struggle broke out, and the robber accidentally hit herself in the head with the crowbar, and she cut herself with a hook end. So she decided to run. While doing so, she got her shirt caught on something and ripped it in half. So there she was running with almost no shirt on and a gash on her head.
Wow.
And I'm sure she was under the influence of something, even if it was just stupidity, because who would rob a post office? All right. Many older Americans get repeat colon cancer tests that they don't need. Medicare is paying for it, suggests a study that spotlights unnecessary risks to the elderly and wastes of money. Almost half of the Medicare patients in the study had a colonoscopy less than 7 years after getting a normal results of an earlier colonoscopy. The test is recommended to do every 10 years, starting at age 50, for people at average risk whose initial test is normal. Here's my question. Who wants to get a colonoscopy, period?
Well, maybe they're being told to
I don't know.
Go back in.
I'm just saying, most people are not fans of what they do with the colonoscopy. That's where they take
I know what they do with the colonoscopy.
Giant rake handle and jam it up your backside.
I don't think we need to get
I'm just saying. I don't know why
vulgar
anybody
on
would
the
be
radio.
interested in... I'm not getting vulgar. And we're not on the radio. We're in the podcast now, thank goodness. Think I would have talked like that otherwise? The latest weapon in the UN's fight against hunger and global warming and pollution might be something buzzing by your head right now. Insects. Yeah, edible insects are being promoted as a low-fat, high-protein food source. Eek. According to the UN, they come with an appetizing side benefit, though. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Livestock pollution is reduced as well. Creating jobs in developing countries, and feeding the millions of hungry people in the world. So maybe you should just come around to the way of thinking of these guys.
I'm not going to eat insects.
Enjoy some bugs, Heidi. Come on. What's wrong with you?
I'm not going to eat bugs.
Don't you like this planet, Heidi?
Not enough to eat bugs.
Me neither. I'm all for, doing my part, but when it comes down to eating a cricket, no thanks. Give me a Snickers and I'll be good. All right, we got one last thing we're going to do here. We're going to talk about, because Halloween is going to be here before you know it, with Halloween spending exceeding $6.9 billion this year. That's a lot. 68 million Americans buying costumes for the holiday. Wallet Hub did the 2015 best and worst cities for Halloween. Best city, where do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Best city for Halloween is New York, New York. Then New Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm sorry,
Well, what
Jersey
is the
City.
reasoning?
Well, they have 16,
a lot to do, or why is it better?
Compared 100 large cities, 16 key metrics, ranging from the number of candy stores per capita to the average cost of a Halloween party ticket to the best and worst weather forecasts for Halloween.
Halloween party tickets?
Yeah, so if you're buying a ticket to go to a party somewhere, I don't know. Anyway, New York came in number 1. Number 2 is Jersey City, New Jersey, then Newark, New Jersey, then Gilbert, Arizona, Laredo, Texas, Irving, Texas, Santa Ana, California, Garland, Texas, Chandler, Arizona, and Plano, Texas. It's the top 10. So how about the worst cities? Where do you think would be the worst place to celebrate?
I really have no idea.
According to this, St. Petersburg, Florida. But when you think about it, isn't that an area where it's a lot of retired people? Their Halloween party would be done at like 5:15 p.m. All right, go to bed, everybody. Can you imagine trick-or-treating down there when everybody goes to bed that early?
Yeah.
That would be awful. Houston, Texas was on the list of bad places. Nashville, Tennessee, really? Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlotte, North Carolina, Baton Rouge, Oakland, California, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Detroit, and Memphis. And then those are the bottom 10, like the worst cities. So,
I would assume Detroit would be on that list. It's not a place you want to go walking around at night.
I would not, even on a regular day, but it'd even be worse on a day when people are already dressed in weird outfits. Like, is that guy going to mug me, or is he just trick-or-treating? Just wondering. If you did decide to go trick-or-treating and dress as a mugger, would that be a bad... Well, who are you supposed to be? Well, I'm here to rob you. Or you can just give me some candy. All right. That's going to do it for our bonus break. I think that we probably should have not gone in some of those places, but that's going to do it. If you'd like to learn more about our sponsor, who reluctantly sponsors this program, learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.